August 11th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite this morning shows an increase in mid and high-level clouds today as an increasingly robust monsoonal pattern continues to affect the region. A shallow marine layer continues to bring low clouds to some of the coastal areas as well, but ultimately most areas will see partly to mostly sunny skies prevailing today. Here's a look at yesterday's lightning map, and it was a big day with almost 3,000 strikes observed. But activity remained concentrated over the usual high mountain and desert areas, and storms were generally producing plenty of rainfall, keeping the risk of problematic fire starts on the lower side. High pressure remains over the Four Corners area today, but it is starting to weaken and after weeks of being in control, is going to relinquish its grip entirely over the next few days. An anomalously deep troughing pattern will set up over the western U.S. starting tomorrow and continuing through the end of this week. That's going to bring us a major and much-needed cool down. The troughing pattern will start to relax by the weekend as high pressure rebuilds to our south and east, but the offshore troughing will continue to provide us with substantial moderation well into next week. Here's a look at today's forecast highs. We're still on the warm side, but we will be starting a cooling trend. 90s to lower triple digits will remain common in the valley areas, but most areas will be a few degrees cooler than yesterday. As troughing develops, more significant cooling will occur on Wednesday, and here's a look at the forecast highs by Thursday. It's a dramatic turnaround from where we've been lately as valley highs will tumble into the 70s and 80s, except for low to mid 90s in the Central Valley. We'll stay similarly cool into Friday, and while some slow warming is likely by the weekend, temperatures will remain near to, in most cases, below normal into early next week and potentially through much of next week. As monsoon moisture remains present over the region, we will continue to have thunderstorm chances over the next couple of days. For today, things are likely going to follow a similar script once again to what we've seen the past few days. We'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms develop across central California from the Sierra eastward and across the mountains and deserts of Southern California east and south of I-15, with a little better chance today for activity in the Ventura County mountains as well. The most uncertain period remains Wednesday and Wednesday night. Shower and thunderstorm activity may expand westward to the Sierra foothills or even the Central Coast during that time. However, most indications remain that any thunderstorm activity in those areas would be isolated, and in any case, a much cooler pattern will be settling in just behind it, which should limit fire weather concerns. Minimum humidity will remain mainly in the 12 to 25% range away from the coastal areas today. However, the cooler pattern will also bring us a big improvement in humidities, with minimums increasing to 20 to 40% or better, and improved recoveries as well by Wednesday and through the weekend. The marine layer will become much deeper with far more expansive low cloud coverage each night and morning. Onshore flow will tend to strengthen as the troughing pattern develops over the next few days, bringing a little more southwest to westerly breeziness through the gaps and passes. But local and terrain effects will continue to dominate in most cases with no organized significant wind events expected. Gusty outflow winds will also remain possible in and around any thunderstorms. Fuel conditions remain very dry across most of the region, although we have started to see some localized improvements due to shower and thunderstorm activity. Still, ERC values range from the 90th to 97th percentile in much of the region. However, big changes and big improvements are on the way over the next several days as this much cooler pattern develops. ERCs are forecast to tumble well below normal by this weekend. So in terms of fire potential, we'll keep an elevated risk for new large fires going today as warm weather continues amidst the very dry fuel conditions. Wednesday remains a bit of a wild card day. We'll have to keep an eye on the thunderstorm potential as the lightning risk potentially spreads into some of the lower elevations. We could see a greater number of new ignitions if storms do spread into areas such as the Central Coast and the Sierra foothills. But that is not looking overly likely, at least in anything beyond an isolated capacity, and in any event, the cooler temperatures and higher humidity expected beyond then will very much work in our favor in terms of limiting potential on any new ignitions. And by Thursday and beyond, the potential for new significant fires is going to decrease quite a bit as the cooler pattern develops, fire danger indices fall, and the lightning threat diminishes. While this is probably not the start of a true winding down of our fire season, it is shaping up to be a much needed and potentially prolonged break in higher activity. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Wednesday, August 12th.